Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of The East. In this week's episode, we're gonna build a Chinatown. Well, a more Chinese area within our city. City who still has no name. So I reckon, especially to my Indonesian guys, I think I asked it before, I'm not sure, but we need a name. So if you have any good ideas, any suggestions, just bring them up. I'm now doubting if I haven't asked this before. The thing is, I record in advance now, so this will be released in about 2 weeks. So perhaps in this week's episode I'm also asking for a name, but then we'll know this next week. Anyways, this was by far the most requested thing I should build within our city. And I think it's really cool, yeah. I really wanted to do this. So what I did is I added some assets. As you see on screen right now, there are these small buildings. I made 3 versions of it, and it's basically a Dutch orange tiled roof, but it is more in a traditional Southeast Asian way. So it's with the more curved roofs, the more rounded edges, and yeah, I think they're really cool. They're really small, but they're really useful to fill in. And before I continue, I really want to do a gigantic shout out to Chameleon. He is, one of our most active persons within the community who really helped us with Skype and all the assets and mods. And it's basically our, living help desk for CS1. And I was last week working on my city and suddenly my game broke. And there was no particular reason, there was nothing really what I changed or anything. But I noticed on the last live stream we did, I was also missing out on some assets. And I couldn't really find out why, and last week I started up my game and it just went full berserk and it broke down. So I contacted Chameleon and he reached out and he did all the legwork for me. He helped me out doing because I am really bad at all the technical stuff. So he helped me step by step with Skype to get the game up and running again, making it local, and thank God we saved the save game. However, I am missing some assets. Some buildings seems to be disappearing, but I found that is more like an opportunity that really triggered me to remove some parts of the city because I thought they really were a bit too quickly built. So I removed it. So the city is a little bit smaller now, stuff I did off camera, and now I am able to rebuild more, so make more nice neighborhoods in the center of the city and not some soulless parts which, I kind of built. So yeah, again, thank you so much, Chameleon. You saved this series, so yeah, great. On screen, what am I doing? I am just adding a whole bunch of, a variety of houses. Let me show you guys what my inspiration was. So these are the 2 pictures I took most of my ideas from. And as you see, it got those rounded, more like Chinese or Malaysian type of housing. And there are loads of signs everywhere. Also some details I noticed, everyone is driving on the other side of the road, and it turns out I started this city, everyone is driving on the wrong road right now, but I can't change it anymore, right? But I forgot that back in those days, a lot of countries, even in the Netherlands, cities would be driving on the left side of the road. Anyways, that's not really a big deal. As you can see on screen right now, I'm just adding loads of awnings. I also noticed those in the images, they had loads of awnings, and that makes sense in a hot country like Indonesia. And yeah, I'm just trying to make it really big, I try to make it more messy than I am used to. And if you know me, I am quite I like to have everything look like perfect, like clean and perfect in most of my builds. This isn't, but I really like how the Chinese buildings mix with the Dutch buildings and the Art Deco buildings. It gives a certain look to this street, and I think I need to do that in more streets within my city. Oh, I forgot, on the right side, the corners, you just saw me working on the building. That's also a new asset, this one. I made a pack of 3. It is like apartments, and underneath there are stores. And I also added a corner building, which is something everyone always seems to forget when they build assets. Corners. We need way more corners. For CS2, every building he makes needs a corner, because it's bloody annoying trying to make a nice corner and there isn't none. Here you see mine. Yeah, I'm just adding these more of these awnings. But the whole idea of the Chinatown street is really nice. And I noticed it is actually, I think it's a national heritage or even a UNESCO heritage in Jakarta now, the Chinatown, which is basically the same one where I took my inspiration from, if I'm not mistaken. And so behind this street there is a marshalling yard for the light rail, the trams, the steam trams. I decided not to do that on screen. I thought it was a really nice place to have this street tucked in between industrial areas and like really on the edge of the city center. It felt like a logical place. But I really lightly detail it. In the cinematics you will see it, but it wasn't interesting enough to do on screen really. So you notice now I'm adding loads of signs. I think I made a pack of 20 signs inspired on those which I saw in the images I just referred to. And yeah, I'll release those with my small housings. It's all kinds of stuff. It's from clothing to hairdressers, General Electric right here. This sign says grote leegverkoop, which basically means sale. I noticed that in one of the photos as well. And I thought I'll reference it to the other one, which says Lui Lekker Land. And Lui Lekker Land, I'm not sure where it comes from, if it's like folklore or where the word comes from, but in Holland everyone knows the word but not really know what it means. But Lui Lekker Land is, in this case, a bed shop. They sell, I noticed because I googled it, they sold mattresses. And roughly translated, Lui Lekker Land is like, well, in your dreams. Here I'm adding these gates. Or I added this Chinese gate. Later on I replaced it because I thought this one was a bit too modern and well maintained. And there is actually one of those gates in Jakarta, but it is more of concrete and a little bit less details. And it was already there back in the 30s because I found photos of it. It was more like a gate to the neighborhood. Yeah, and I'm just gonna add loads of stalls here. That's one thing you guys also told me in the comments. There should be way more street vendors and those kinds of small stalls. I'm not 100% sure if that wasn't already such a big thing back in the 30s. I think it was, because I've seen them in loads of photos. As you just noticed, a tuk-tuk drove by, like one of those, well, not one of those bicycle tuk-tuks, and they were also already there in all the images back in the 30s. So I think I added the right amount. And here you have this really cool pass-through from the city station to this street. And I should add more pedestrian paths too. Yeah, and then adding these power wires, which do so much for detailing. Okay, next up is building. I wanted to build some kind of small Chinese temple, like because I imagine the Chinese people, which was a really large portion of the Dutch East Indies, had religious places as well. So I thought it would be a nice thing to add like a really hidden small temple within. Well, I wanted to do it between buildings, but it turned out this corner was the best place, and I'm gonna hide it with these walls and some hedges around it. But it really needed to be like really serene and clean and nice, and that's why I'm doing it in this really small corner. And honestly, I don't know that much about Chinese religion and culture. I guess it's a form of Buddhism, but I thought it would be a nice addition to the city. I also want to make a mosque and make more religions than only the European religions available in our city, because they were back in those days. Giant mosques were also already there when the Dutch were ruling Indonesia. And I imagine these Chinese shrines and temples were also part of society. So we're nearing the end of the episode already, and I wanted to get back to my original question. Please, if you know a great name for this city, let me know. I wanted to start on naming the city and making signs for it, because it will make loads more sense and it gives the city more identity. So if you guys have a great name for this Dutch East Indies town, just let me know. Preferably Indonesian, of course, not Dutch, because there was only one town in Indonesia with a Dutch name. and I think this deserves to have an Indonesian name. So yeah, sound off in the comments, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you all for watching. It was a blast again. I am really happy how this episode is turning out. Again, thank you to Chameleon to saving this build, because I am really, really deep into it. I really love this. I am just very happy that I'm not building something green European for once. So okay guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Like and subscribe, you know the drill, and I'm also on Patreon, all that kind of stuff. You can find me everywhere. Anyways, I'll see you next time. This was Jazz. Bye.